Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Last of Us video here. So this video isn't going to be my episode breakdown. I'll do a video on that soon, and I'll also talk about episode 3. I'm just gonna say, I don't know when this video is coming out. I'm recording this at nighttime right now, and I probably will release this in the morning, I'm assuming. Just hasn't been the best day because, our family cat passed away today, and it's definitely been just a really bad day. It's just been a horrible day, and so I'm just kind of wanting to go to bed right now. So I'm recording this right now, and I'll edit everything in the morning. And so I do apologize. I know the last 2 Sundays I didn't get my Last of Us reviews up and all of that. I haven't been posting a lot, but there's just been a lot of stuff happening over the last couple of days here, and yeah, it's gonna be a rough week here. But obviously, I will get through it. I will be fine. So don't worry about me. I will be fine. But the Last of Us had a really big moment here that I do want to talk about, and so I want to get my thoughts on this, and then we'll talk about I guess the episode 2 story and everything like that in a separate video, and then we'll get into a bunch of other stuff and everything later on this week. So yeah, it happened. It actually finally happened now. Joel is now actually dead. That was it. It happened in episode 2, and I really didn't expect it to go down that way. I thought it would be a lot more brutal in general, but I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of thankful that it wasn't. I think in terms of how they did the scene, there's a lot of things I really like. There's some stuff that I don't like, and we'll talk about it in a second here, but it's just one of those things that is really interesting when it comes to the story here of The Last of Us. And it's this whole debate that I guess I'll talk about in this video here, because we know where the story is going now. We know where the show is overall going to be going by the end. And I mean, if they follow everything and you go based off of that very last game, or the second game, we know how the story ends here, and I won't spoil that, or at least not right now. We'll talk about that later in the video, and I'll give a spoiler warning before I do get into that, because I know some people don't want to know any of that. But yeah, let's just get into this here. So Joel actually does die here, and I really like the way they set it up here. You don't see Joel at all in the episode. I was a little concerned about that, because if he was going to die, you want to have a lot more screen time with the character, and I feel like there was just, after all of this, there's still a lot of unresolved things with the character. I don't know, there were things that just needed to be said, and I don't know if I'm supposed to feel this way. Maybe that's sort of the point with it, but there were definitely things that needed to be said. Overall, I think from Joel to Ellie, I don't know, I wanted Joel's life to be, I guess, better than that, right? Especially when you consider the very first episode that we saw him in, and, he loses his daughter, and it was just very traumatic, and you see the person that he became after that, and obviously there's a lot of issues there, and he's killed a lot of people, and so people are going to want revenge, and Joel kind of got what was coming to him, right? And that's just sort of the thing with this world, and there's always going to be that cycle, because now that Abby killed Joel, Ellie's going to want revenge and kill Abby, right? So it's this constant cycle, right? And I think that I do like that idea to focus on for The Last of Us, but it's also something that is frustrating, because it isn't what I wanted the story to really focus on necessarily. That's how I felt in the second game. And so I will just say, when the scene actually does happen where Joel saves Abby, I wasn't really connecting, literally the version that we got of Abby later on in the episode to how she was, I guess, when Joel saved her, because it seemed like that was just never going to be able to happen. She didn't seem that cruel at all. And then once they got to that building and they were all talking there, and they all realized, oh, that's Joel, and then they knocked Dina out, and then, everything with Joel, then you really saw how evil she is, really. She is the villain of this season for sure. I know that you can try to sympathize with her and all that, and you're going to be able to, but that was honestly insane. I think the performance overall was really great. I do think the performance in that scene from everyone was just absolutely incredible, and you felt the tension the entire time. Because I knew what was happening, that's why I wasn't necessarily maybe there's a way for him to get saved, because the entire time I was well, it seems like he's going right now. I thought it was going to be episode 3. I thought that maybe he would save Abby or something at the very end of episode 2, but it would be a cliffhanger for episode 3. Maybe he would get knocked out or something like that. But in episode 3, we would see Ellie, traveling all the way to, I guess, to find him, right? But no, it didn't work out that way. And also, Dina is with Joel instead of Tommy. I'm honestly okay with that, because of what that's going to do for Dina and Ellie's story going forward. And also, Tommy had a lot of cool scenes back at Jackson. So yeah, I'll talk about that in my review though. But for Joel, I think the thing that I kind of feel, frustrated with overall is that there was no like Joel moment, right? Like Joel never really got to say anything, like not a lot of questions about anything. And I'm trying to read into it. Like I'm watching it and I'm just like, why isn't he saying anything? Like Abby is just talking and talking. And then the one thing he says is just like, get it over with already kind of thing, right? And Abby's just like, you don't get to rush this or whatever, right? Joel doesn't care. Like when I see that, I'm just like, I guess he's just that way. Like that's just who he is. He's that tough. He's not going to give her the satisfaction of like begging for his life and all of that. He's just like, fine, whatever. And so I think a lot of that definitely will affect Abby going forward. You know, I think that it wasn't something that she probably should have done. Everyone else in her group was just like, okay, I don't think you should be doing this. Like you got to stop this. And at one point we're just like, all right, you got to end this right now. This is way too much. And Ellie showing up as well. I think that for Ellie showing up, it was, I mean, obviously a really crazy moment. And it's one of the sad things that both of them never got to like, you know, I guess fix what was happening between the two. But like Ellie did mention something beforehand in this episode. And I really thought that was foreshadowing to this moment, which was like, we are just who we are. Joel is Joel and I'm Ellie, basically, right? And so we're just going to be who we're going to be and we're fine, right? And so I mean, now like you see that and Ellie, I'm really interested in Ellie's story now going forward and how she's going to deal with this and handle, I guess, the fact that he is gone. What's going to happen with Tommy and all of that. And for Ellie to be in a place like that, it was just absolutely heartbreaking. Like, again, for me, I played the game and when it first happened for me, I was just, you know, I think I was in tears. Like I was literally so upset by that. I was so shocked. Like, what is happening right now? This cannot be happening right now. So watching this now, I didn't get that same effect there, but it was still really heartbreaking and sad. And I still felt how I felt a long time ago. And I just really, at this point, I do not like Abby. But I do understand where she's coming from with all of this. I do get it. But again, it's that cycle of revenge that now that she did this, like, is she going to be fine? Like, I guess we're going to find out this season, right? And now Ellie is going to, you know, want revenge, I guess, on Abby. And so, you know, is that going to end up ending with Ellie allowing her to live and then just like breaking that cycle of revenge? We're going to have to wait and see. But I just, like, that's kind of what the story is now going forward. And that's fine, but the thing that I really liked about season 1 was the fact that Ellie was the cure. And then there was like this other thing happening where Joel lost his daughter before, and so he was kind of protecting Ellie like she was his daughter, right? And just for it to all end like this, for Joel's story, because he was the main character, right, in that very first episode, and this was all about Joel, like for his story to end like this after just that, it just felt like there needed to be a lot more of a story there for Joel. And so I guess the same issues that I had with the game, I still do have now with the show here. Like, I think the show is telling it better, though. I will say that. I think the show is overall telling it better. You can kind of explain things in a better way. And I think that, like, I'm happier with the scenes, and I'm still going to keep watching. You know, I'm excited for next week's episode, but I just think for Joel's story, I'm very disappointed with it because there was just a lot more, I think, in his future. There was a lot more that you could have told instead of ending it this fast. I think if the second game ended with Joel's death or something, like maybe that's sort of where you go with that. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like watching this scene, I was just so like, I can't believe this happened again. And I knew it was going to happen, but yeah, they did it again. And like, that is just what it is now. Like Joel is gone. And so anyways, I'm going to leave it here, though. It was a really crazy scene. Definitely a really insane scene. And it's going to be really sad to not see Joel around for a while. Like, he was such a big part of the show and like a big part of the game that him not being around really does change a lot. Like, it changes so much. But the one thing that you do got to remember is that there's going to be more flashbacks, right? There's going to be other scenes where he'll probably be a big part of an episode still, but it'll be a flashback, right? So he'll still be around. I think that is a way to make it better. And this way you can have a lot more scenes just sort of fleshing out everything a lot more and explaining everyone's reasonings for like doing certain things. And so, yeah, I'm excited for episode 3 though. I think the show is overall like doing really amazing. And like, besides all of this, there was a lot of stuff happening with Tommy, like with Jackson and the infected battle and everything that I'll talk about in my review. Like, man, that was incredible. So yeah, post your thoughts down below on Joel's death. What'd you think of the scene? And yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.